I am definitely channeling the Karate Kid right now. There are moments in my life where I think people think that I am not as nice as I really am. I mean, for the most part, I like to think of myself as a really nice person. I do good things when I can, and I try to be as good of a person as I think I should be. I am nice to people. I am not rude on purpose. Although there are times when people think that I am the biggest bitch in the world. I don't know if it's something that they heard or if they think differently of me because of something they've seen. I don't know if they've watched a video and they just don't agree with what I have to say, or they've gone on my social media, because I am very bitchy on there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably the biggest bitch on social media when it comes to certain elements. Whatever the case may be, there are several things that I'm sure that I do that piss people off or make people think that I'm a bitch. And that brings us to today, where I talk about the 5 reasons why I probably come off as a bitch. So let's throw it right into number 5. Number 5, I feel the most guilty for, and I know that I do this. There are times when I do this and I just feel intensely guilty because of the fact that I do this. And it's something that I try to help myself with, and I try to prevent myself from doing, but it happens. The biggest problem that I have is basically when people tell me their name. Unless I have some type of way to remember that, I'm not going to remember. And I have literally shook someone's hand while shaking as they're telling me this, forgot it, or wasn't paying attention. And I feel really bad, and I feel really guilty, and I feel ashamed for saying it, but it's true. People tell me their names when I first meet them all the time, and I don't listen. I don't listen to their names. You could tell me your life story, I will remember that, but you tell me your name, for some reason, my brain just goes, gone. I have to see it written, I could remember it that way. Or if I see it some way where there's like some type of connection, like maybe you do some crazy dance and your name is James. I had a teacher like that in class where we had to remember each other's names. So to do something crazy while saying each other's names helped the memory remember it. So I have tried to have some type of connection to people so that way I can remember their names if I feel like I need to remember their names. But unfortunately, there are times when you just don't have the ability to make some weird song and dance over someone's name, and unfortunately, it just disappears. And then there's number 4. This one I don't realize I'm doing, unfortunately, and I'm pretty sure I'm just never going to stop doing it because it's subconscious. It's something that my body just does. I have the bitch face stare. Now, the bitch face stare isn't something that, is necessarily bad, because sometimes it comes in handy. When you really, really need to be a bitch, the bitch face stare is on fucking point, and that's exactly what you need. I gotta say, I have a pretty decent one. But it's not something I mean to do, or I'm not really trying to be bitchy at all. It's just I'm thinking and my face just naturally looks bitchy. It's resting bitch face syndrome. My cat has it, I have it a little bit, but usually when I'm talking or having some type of conversation, people don't see it. But it's the minute that I am in my own world and I'm thinking and I'm trying to take in what is happening around me, especially in a social setting and no one's talking to me at the moment, I'm just thinking, whatever I'm doing, the bitch face comes on. You know those moments where your mind is just kind of focused on something and you're just kind of staring out, but you don't realize you're staring at a person? And the problem is I stare directly at people. Like, I know their physical presence is in front of me, but my mind doesn't conceive the fact that I'm actually making them very uncomfortable and probably staring a hole in their head while they're thinking, wow, this guy really doesn't like me. He must be the biggest bitch in the world. Surprise, I kind of am. Number 3. I get real comfortable with people real easily. And, sometimes I try to work the room and try to see what kind of people I'm dealing with before I start making jokes. But sometimes I analyze the situation incorrectly. I try to be as social as possible when I'm in the situation. So my instinct when being social is to make jokes or be kind of funny or to do something to lighten the mood. But a lot of the times, those jokes are on the offensive side, but it's usually just like little jabs at somebody or something simple like that. For example, I may have been in a conversation where someone's talking about their relationships and how they just got out of one relationship and they just started a new one. And I may have jokingly called them a giant fucking whore. Now, in my head, I find that hysterical. Why? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm sure there's years of therapy that could probably explain that, but I can't get into that right now. We don't have the time or effort or really the money to do that. Another issue that I have is when I say these jokes, I also don't laugh, because I think it's funnier when a joke is said and there isn't a laugh from the person who says the joke. It's kind of like sitcoms. You don't want to sit there and watch someone tell a joke and then they laugh after a time they say a joke. It ruins the moment, especially a bitchy joke. People who know me know that I'm just joking and I have a bitchy, sarcastic sense of humor. I may not necessarily be a real giant bitch, but my humor has bitch senses to it. It's very bitch-esque, if you will. People don't like that when you first meet them sometimes, and they don't understand who you are, or jokes along that line. So beware, feel out the room, see what people are saying, test out with smaller, less offensive jokes. Number two is something that I do on purpose. And it is very bitchy of me, but it is less bitchy in the long run, and there's reasons why I do it. Alright, so before I say it, there's reasons why I do it, and it's to help the betterment of humanity through myself. Basically, I have a habit of ignoring people when I'm frustrated. Alright, I don't ignore people all the time, but if I am frustrated and I know I'm about to go off the deep end, I decide that it's probably easier and a lot smarter to just say nothing. It goes back to that old saying, if you have nothing good to say, don't say it at all. That is exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying nothing because nothing good's going to happen from it. And then finally, number one. There is another side to me. It's a side that you may or may not see in the future. I have kind of kept him hidden in the dark, but he exists and he is rather interesting. And that is Drunk Chad. Drunk Chad gives no fucks, and he's also a giant fucking bitch. So if you ever see Drunk Chad at a party, he may be fun. Don't get me wrong, Drunk Chad is fun as shit. However, he's a bit of a bitch. Gotta be prepared for it. So I'm just warning you ahead of time. Drunk Chad is a bitch, but fun. A fun bitch. Like, everyone actually likes Drunk Chad, but you just gotta get used to who he is as a whole. And that is a sarcastic bitch who takes no prisoners and will go off at any moment with jokes that may or may not offend everyone/someone. And you just have to laugh it off. And that's really the best advice I could give you for anyone who's a bitch, is just kind of laugh it off or just ignore them. If someone's being a total fucking bitch, just ignore them. Just do exactly what I do when I'm being a bitch. Ignore the fuck out of them. So I hope you enjoyed this bitch fest, and I would like to know if you come off as a bitch sometimes, and maybe tell me a story or two, or maybe a reason why someone may think that you're a bitch. Maybe you are a bitch. And maybe you're proud to be a bitch. You know, bitches unite. Come on, let's get this together. And I also have social media galore, so you can stalk me on all those platforms above, as well as my other channel, WhatsItToYa Productions, where you can see me and a bunch of others do some fun things that you'll love. It's just a click away. So until next time, bitches.